What is going on, fellas? And welcome back to the Journeyman with me, FoggyPlays on FM22. Today we are taking on Everton on Boxing Day, as they call it in England, or St. Stephen's Day in Ireland. And we're going to be taking on Aston Villa in the last game of the 2030 year. So we've been in good form since we were here last, so hopefully we can continue that. Start the new year with a bang. We have had some transfers confirmed already, so I'll update you on what's going on in the world of Man City in just a second. So if you do go on to enjoy this episode, do make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now let's get into it. Right, fellas, so as I said, we're taking on Everton and Aston Villa today, 17th and 10th in the league. We're comfortably sitting atop the league, but I'll show you that in just a second. Since we were here, we beat West Brom 8-1, quite a comfortable victory. Then beat Leicester 5-0, drew with PSV. We were quite good, just couldn't find the back of the net. It's been a couple of days since I've played, so don't really remember it, but we didn't play fantastically, but we were good enough to get the draw, and that's all that matters. We then played Bournemouth and smashed them 3-1, beat Wolves 3-0, and then Spurs 2-1. I was going to say, I vaguely remember them taking the lead in that game. We have drawn the EFL Cup. We're playing Burnley in the semi-finals, and we're taking on Leeds in the third round of the FA Cup, and we're playing Rangers in the Champions League first knockout round. A Rangers side who came through a fairly difficult group, if I remember correctly. Rangers, yeah, Man United, Porto, and Zenit. It's pretty difficult group, if you will. League-wise, we're still comfortably 3 points clear of Man United, who play later today. Chelsea have already played their game, but I think, yeah, they're playing again. So we have a game in hand over Chelsea and Newcastle and Bournemouth, which is an interesting team. Spurs are sitting 19th in the league, so not ideal for them. But as I said, a couple of transfers are already confirmed. We've nobody coming in for a while. But Kekarish is off to Napoli. Sterling wanted to leave, so I threw him on the unwanted list. He is currently speaking with Spurs, so he could be playing Championship football next season. Marvin Gerrard has had a couple of offers from, the most recent one is from AEK. And Alexander Isak is off to Inter Milan for 50 million. So that gives us just a little bit of change for our back pocket for the January transfer window, which is swiftly coming upon us. So for the game against Everton, we're going to be starting with Falcao in goal, Porro, Omobamidele, and Lopez and Pintos in defence, Valverde and Bellingham in central midfield, behind Adeyemi, Delaney, Simon, and Makoko leading the line, because Makoko has 26 goals already this season. I am starting to phase Ruben Diaz out of the team more and more, because he is just a little bit of age. It's an interesting Everton team. Still have Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Albin Lafont, who I think was one of our players, or was an ex-player of Atalanta. I still don't know how we managed to get the job in Man City, having managed so poorly with Atalanta, but I'm going to take it regardless. We did have Vincent Kompany talking about how, Valverde, that was okay. Now I see why Everton are struggling so much. Two of the defenders kicked the ball off each other, and Lafont couldn't do anything about it. A direct from kickoff highlight. Simon puts the ball forward. Valverde chests it down, gets the ball taken off him by Salisu, hits it off. Who? I can't click on who it was. I'm guessing it was Malacia. But Vincent Kompany was talking about how fantastically Delaney's been playing. So a Belgian talking about how great an Irish player is playing for Man City. That's probably never been heard of. Has there ever been a time where an Irish player has been congratulated for how well they've played for Man City by a Belgian? Probably not. I think the last time an Irish player would have been mentioned as a Man City player would have probably been Richard Dunn when he scored one of his 1,000 own goals. Because that is what one of our best centre backs in the country's history is well known for, is scoring lots of own goals. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he has the most own goals of any player in the Premier League era. I could be wrong. I think John O'Shea is probably up there with him. Wes Brown, to be fair, scored a lot of own goals as well. Scored a lot of own goals. Titus Bramble, as a Wigan fan, I think he was our top goal scorer one year, if you included players who scored own goals, which pretty sure isn't a stat that they'd have to be like, oh, Titus Bramble, yeah, top goal scorer. Like 8 own goals or something in one season was just, it's just what you want from your centre back. Can almost guarantee he'd score an own goal. It's just beautiful. As you can imagine, nothing much has happened since that first goal, but we have Pedro Porro dinks it across. Philip Simon puts it in the back of the net, his 12th of the season. He scores a lot of headers. It has to be said, that man gets on the end of quite a number of chances with his head. I also didn't realise that Philip Simon, for a while, is 6'6". The guy is a monster. There was me for like the majority of the start of the season trying to figure out why he scored so many goals from the back post with his head. It's because he's a monster of a man. He is the tallest player in our team. Not as tall as my favourite player I've ever managed in FM. Big Ari Suter. Almost paid 15 million for him in a beta save a couple of years ago. Because why wouldn't you? Why would you not want Harry Suter in your team? All 6'8" of him. The guy's an absolute beast. Makoko puts it through for Simon. Shows he can do it with his feet as well. Potentially offside though. Hopefully he isn't, because that was a beautiful build-up play. Now, bit of build-up. It's been disallowed. That's... I might as well just... I was going to say, why is it saying Makoko scored it? It was very obviously Philip Simon. We do have the African Cup of Nations in the not too distant future, but I don't think any of our players are going to it. Well, none of our first team players anyway. I don't think. Alatobi is away on Asian Cup something or other. Makoko just puts it behind. Adeyemi not having a great game. I did start him today instead of Douglas because Adeyemi's been in good form. Christian Douglas has also been in quite good form. Adeyemi had scored more goals, so I put him in. Not been great. Simon, another header, but this time he's just put it over. Coming up on half time, Adeyemi probably going to just take him off at half time. Looks like Everton have changed their approach. They're going more attacking. Going to put my fists and say, you can do even more, lads. Adeyemi, you're going to come off for Christian Douglas. No other changes need to be made there. Start second half. Get in. Give the lads a bit of praise. They're doing decently well. 6 shots on target over 16. And now, 17 shots now. 18 shots. Okay. 2.2 XG. Not bad. Bombadele gets a forward to Christian Douglas. He's already done more than Adeyemi. Simon's header gets... He loses the header, actually. Bellingham dinks it across. Christian Douglas proves that you don't have to be a 6'6" monster to score a header. You can also be 5'9". Short, king, spring. Or in this case, winter. That was quite a beautiful little dinked header into the back of the net. The only player on the pitch now who's not having a great game is Niall Delaney. Oh, was that Pedro Porro? What is Pedro Porro doing in central midfield? We're just that much better than everyone else. Pintas. Oh, I thought that was going to be a beautiful little bit of dinkage. Unfortunately, it was not. Bombadele to Pedro Porro. Christian Douglas. Bombadele. Porro. Valverde. Pedro Porro dinks it across, and Philip Simon with another header. Can he score a perfect hat-trick of headers? Perfect header. Perfect hat-trick of headers. Yeah, I said it right the first time. So we are just cruising now. We probably will make some more changes to take off any of our tired players, which is probably going to be Jude Bellingham, because he seems to be always tired, and I don't know why. He is, I suppose he runs around a lot. Philip Simon, couldn't quite get on the end of it. He wouldn't have scored it anyway. He doesn't want to score goals that aren't headers, because that's just not cool. Pintos wins the ball. Simon puts Makoko through. Delaney with the ball to Makoko. He's hit that crossbar. It's like Makoko doesn't want Delaney getting a good rating. Simon just puts it wide. Alright, we're 4-0 up. We might as well rest a few of our players. No need to be pushing. Who do we have on the bench? I'm going to bring Curzon on for Lopez. Yeah, it's grand. And I'll take Delaney off for... I'll move Bellingham forward. Delaney can come off for Haga. Really pushing for Haga to be a good footballer, because I know he is good at the old football. He's just not really been given... He's not shown what he can do just yet. I still believe in him. Be nice if we don't concede though, because Phillips, man, really harrying the right back. Not giving that right back a moment to think about what he's doing. Calvert-Lewin gets dispossessed, and Evgen puts the ball in the back net with an absolute screamer, which is fair enough. Pedro Porro at the other end with a throw. Bellingham wins it. Simon, perfect header, perfect hat-trick, 3 goals, all scored with the head. Philip Simon, get in. Instant reply. You can score, well, we can score again. Interesting that Makoko hasn't scored yet. Normally Makoko gets a couple of goals. We've absolutely torn away in the last 15 minutes. We've 31 shots, 13 on target. It'd be a travesty if we don't win this game, but I can't see Everton, Falcao, really confident that was going wide. It would be a travesty if we didn't win this, but they do need to score 4 goals in 7 minutes, and we have the ball at their end. I don't know who's... It hit someone's hand. Okay, yeah, it was handball. Who's taking the Pedro Porro? I'm pretty sure Porro is. Yeah, Porro's our penalty taker. Albin Lafont. Albin Lafont has the better of Pedro Porro today. Pedro Porro doesn't miss too many penalties. Unfortunately, our corners came to nothing after the penalty. Christian Douglas finds Bellingham, whips it out. Simon goes for a little jog, whips it across. Douglas just puts it over. Would be nice if we could score another 2 goals. Okay, that was a highlight that instantly ended. Pintos puts Simon through. Simon finds Bellingham. Never going to score from that far out. It would have been better for Bellingham to put it into the area of uncertainty, but he didn't. Porro finds somebody. Haga's picked it up. Can Haga shoot? No, Simon. 4th goal of the match for Simon. 17th of the season. 50th of his career for Man City. I think it's fair to say Philip Simon has had quite the game. Playing a perfect 10. The guy who started as a striker, who I've just decided is a left winger, has done us proud. Well done, lads. Good win for us. Fantastic, Philip Simon, you beauty. So we'll be back in just a second for the game against Villa. Don't go anywhere. Right, fellas, so we're about to take the kickoff against Aston Villa. Man United, as you can see, 2 points behind, even though they beat Southampton. They actually drew in the last lot of games, so unfortunately for them, we're still top of the league. Spurs have made it out of the relegation zone, having beaten, or drawn actually, with Leeds. Unfortunately, Everton have 2 games in hand, and as do Bristol City. So hopefully Bristol City can win their next game. Maybe. But they're not going to win our next game, which is against them. So we're making a fairly large amount of changes for today's game, giving a couple of players their final opportunity to play for Man City. Kakarish and Isak are starting. Raheem Sterling is on the bench, as is Harvey Alnwick, who is progressing quite nicely as a 16-year-old. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to get some time on the pitch, maybe. Pedro Porro, Pintos, Jude Bellingham, and Valverde. Oh, and Phillips Mann, all very tired. So they're sitting this one out. Makoko drops to the bench, as does Omoboma Dele, because they are exhausted. As you can see, 9 changes for this game. It's pretty much just the goalkeeper. Just the goalkeeper and Lopez are the only two, I think, that start this game that played in the last one. So we are going to tell the lads we should win this game. That is exactly what we're going to do. It's Trevor Chalobah playing for Aston Villa. They're actually playing, or they've been in pretty decent form. The fact they're sitting 11th, just behind Liverpool. It's a little bit of a mixed up league this year, with Spurs being down the bottom. But they've been down there a little while, since Steven Gerrard was in charge. I think he seems to be cursed, because he... Oh, Christian Douglas just puts it wide. Yeah, Stevie G is not really the best manager in the world, because Spurs struggling, Liverpool struggled. It's not been a great time for him. Atalanta were doing decently well-ish. Not quite where you'd expect them to be when we took over. So yeah, I think Steven Gerrard, I'm curious to see what happens at him next, because he's been quite the troubled manager so far. But as I said in a previous episode, this is the year we're going to win the Champions League, so we mightn't get to see too much more of Stevie G, because there's a fair chance that we'll be off somewhere else, managing a different club in a different universe. Christian Douglas has picked up the ball on the left side. Slightly inconvenient for the left-footed player, but St. Maximin is there. Castiel. Oh, the Wonder Kid just puts it wide. We've not seen a huge amount of St. Maximin, whose contract runs out at the end of this season, and it doesn't look like he's getting a new contract. But the Director of Football could at some point decide to chuck a contract at him, because that's what the Director of Football tends to do, is just decide to give random players random contracts. It's been quite a poor first half. I'm going to thrash my arms and say that it is far from acceptable. You have the ability, prove it. Just going to give everyone a little bit of extra ba-ba-boom. I'm potentially going to bring Raheem Sterling on at some point for St. Maximin, just to leave him have a little bit of a run around, because it is probably his last opportunity to play for us, because he will be leaving for Spurs, I would imagine. And that'll be my gift to Spurs, to try and keep them in the Premier League. But it would be interesting to see what would happen if they got relegated, because, you know, that's how it do be. And Castiel hits the crossbar. Not having a great time of things today. I could move Isak up to striker and see what he can do for his final game before he moves to Inter Milan. Yeah, we're going to make changes because things aren't really working as I was hoping for. Christian Douglas can come off. Actually, St. Maximin on that side. Make you an inverted winger there. Inside forward on this side. Christian Douglas can come off for Raheem Sterling for his final appearance. And I'm going to bring Douglas on and move Isak to play as the striker. I wish we didn't sign so many good players, which is kind of a weird thing to say. Like, oh, I wish we didn't sign all these great players, because it's made it so that some of our players are having just a little bit of a harder time to break into the first team. And final change, we're going to bring on Alnwick to play on the right to make his debut. A draw is fine. I would like a win, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. Aston Villa, decent team. You're a decent team. You're not good enough to beat us. You're a decent team. Villa, don't make me angry. Oh, Alnwick, beautifully taken. Isak sends it to Delaney. Not the fastest man in the world. Gets the ball back. That was shocking. That wasn't a great wasn't a great play. Hector Lopez finds Haga. Sterling. Isak gets a goal on his final appearance for the club. He's been here for a while. I think he's a favoured personnel. So sad to see him go. But he has scored in his final appearance, and Aston Villa have a kick-off highlight. Can we score again? The goalkeeper came out quite a sizable distance. Okay, Gerrard got there. I was going to say, what is my defence doing? They're all just kind of standing there looking at the ball. Nobody's actually going for it. Woodhouse is true, but runs it wide. Dinks it across, and Saeed looked offside? Was it offside? Checking goal review. Disallowed. Perfect. Imad say, oh, that would have been his first goal. Would have scored against the best team in the country? Question mark? Are we the best side? Leicester have 2 games in hand. What is going on with this league? So many teams are just like random games in hand. Bristol City, Everton, Leicester all have 2 games in hand, and that is an unconvincing victory, but well done nonetheless, lads. We got a debut for one of our young up-and-coming wingers. A couple of players playing their final appearances. It's circle of life, my friends. It is the circle of life. So for the next episode, we are going to be back for the end of January, which would be an update on the transfer window and whatever game falls closest to the transfer window opening. So if you have enjoyed this episode, do make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me how badly you think that I've done with letting 2 of our long-standing players leave. Well, Kekarish has only been here for a season and a half-ish. So, like I said, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, comment down below, anything you want, because YouTube likes comments. And I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!